used to call it Black History Month. And when I was younger and in school, they call it Negro history. So here's what I want to talk about today. We've been shut up in the house since Saturday, this past Saturday. We, as a people, are not used to being locked up in the house together. And then we're locked up even though the door is not locked. Um, Talking, eating, and we get full, we go to sleep, and then temperature seems to rise within the family. Now, here is the thing. I've learned that somehow or another, we are not people who are accustomed to being piled up together in one place. Even though back in the day, long time ago, 50s, 60s, 70s, we lived in shotgun houses. Shotgun houses are a house that consists of not more than maybe 3 rooms. You enter in the front, and that's the living room, and that may be a double area for sleeping as well as entertaining. The next will be a bedroom. On one side may be a double bed, and another side may be another double bed, depending on the sex of the residents in the house. And then the back is what you have is the kitchen, and it's substituted as a kitchen, dining room, and sometime bedroom, depending on how many people are there. So that's a lot of people in a lot of in a small area. There may have been no porch, no front porch. I didn't see many shotgun houses back in that day with in the 60s and 70s with porches, maybe front porch, not back porch, because you step right out of the house into the yard. The atmosphere, you have heaters, wood heaters, or those heaters that is heated with coals. Coal is that black chunk of element that looks like cement, but it's not. It's a black, and it's shaped like a stone. That's coal. You made the fire, and it might be smoking. The heater may be smoking. You clean the ashes out. That's the old burnt wood from before. You put that aside and throw it out the back door so that when you walk out the back door, you won't slip on the ice out there, and it will serve as a mat for those who are going in and out the back door or in and out the front door, depending on the culture of the people. Now, what I'm talking about today is the culture of African Americans years before 2025 and 2020, because there are very few shotgun houses, and I'm talking about shotgun houses right now. But as a county commissioner in this area, and in an area that is about 200, and I use this number because that's the one I received from the Tick County Planning Department. It's approximately roughly 233 square miles, as in District 2. It's north, it's the area north of the river. You don't see many shotgun houses, but they're there. I know that some are there, some are maybe not being habitated, no one is living in them, but some of them are there. They just have that different outer look. And some people are still living in shotgun houses. I've seen one or two. And I certainly have seen some in Bethel. But these houses serve as our place of dwelling. And someone may be in the kitchen boiling an egg, boiling a piece of sausage, or someone may have been another person on the side in a wooden tray. There's a wooden tray that looks like an rectangular bowl, And that's where you put your flour and your shortening and buttermilk or flour, water, and depending on what you have, and you make your biscuit up. You stir it and stir it and stir it, and then you roll it and roll it and roll it in the flour until it gets to be a consistent where you can roll and stir, and you pinch it off and pat it like a round biscuit and put it in the pan. Some say, I want some cheese biscuits. Some said, I don't want any cheese biscuit. And some say, oh, okay, I don't care just as long as you make biscuit. Sit the syrup on the stove so that it can be hot. Put the molasses on the stove so it can be hot. This is the culture that I recall as a child and as a young adult. So what I want to talk about today, though, is telling you, I've given you the episode of a home back in the day. What now in the 2020s, 2019, we live in a house. It's not called a shotgun house. It's called mobile home. And most of us, because of credit and our wealth or our resources, we don't have homes or stick builds. We buy a mobile home. Some of us, the mobile home have 3 rooms, some more than that. And you may have a home, a bedroom. Once you want to walk in the front door, there's the living room, and then till you turn to the right, there may be private space for the heads of the house to live in a bathroom. Then you walk to the left, you got the stove and whatsoever. Now, you know how a single wide mobile home is. And there are a lot of mobile homes in Pitt County. So I'm trying to get beyond talking about the District 2. Because District 2 is an area in Pitt County that has a lot of mobile homes. There are mobile homes in other areas, and I know that. And I've been in them, and I've visited in them. But I want you to know that we seemingly are not a people who like being crowded. I don't think we live too smooth being crowded. And what I mean by being smooth, seems like everybody can live in a house, especially the Latin American people. They can have 20 people living in a shotgun house or a single wide mobile home, and you'll never hear anything about it. But we got to fight and we got to fuss and and I'm saying it in the way that everybody can understand it. We as a people, we African American, seem like we have a disagreement. We can't get along, and I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to say it's a curse. I know some of you seniors out there saying these young folks are just crazy. Well, maybe so, and some of the older ones too. However, this culture also exists in other cultures. It's just that we don't know how to control ours that much. Now we're getting a phone call. Is it not? It's not on the call-in line. The number to call is 756-2008. And I think I'm right on that number. That's the number you can call if you want to contribute to this conversation. Other coaches seem to be able to take that for a while. Now, what I want to talk about is that recently we have had some tragedies in our families and in our household. Just because we are locked up in the house because the snow and the ice, and we're not venturing out that far. And I did come out today because what I did when the sun came out after the snow fell, I had quite a bit of snow. I put my boots on, I put my socks on underneath my skin tights, and then I put some more socks, my winter socks, because I travel to cold areas. My thick winter socks on top of the skin tights, and so that means I have on 2 pair of socks. And I stick them in my knee-high boots, and I go out, And the dog is sitting out there waiting for me. I thought he would be in the house because I bought him 2 big bags of those cedar chips that he has. And I do that because the pit bull, and I call it my dog because it's not my dog. I call it because my son, after retirement, decided to drive a truck, and the dog became my dog. So here's what I do. I go out there to do it. We have a caller on the line. Let's get the caller. Good morning, caller. You're talking with Mary Perkins-Williams, and we're talking about African American culture. You are
Um,
alive and
Good
on the
morning, Miss
air.
Mary. Good morning. This is going to be a little off the subject. I need to get your number. I need your help with the Pitt County School Walcoat, having a problem with Walcoat's principal, and I want to take it to the news. They're kicking kids out of the mid of the semester. They're trying to kick both of my grandkids out, and I need your help.
Oh yes, it's good to call me. My number is 252-367-7120.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not a school board person, and you can call Pitt County Schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you want to address that, but my personal number, everyone in the county has it, I think. 252
Mm-hmm.
367
Mm-hmm.
7120, and I'll see what I can do about your issue. Give me
All
time to
right.
get home. This show is over at 10 o'clock, and
Mm-hmm.
I will talk with you about it and
Okay.
talk with you how to pursue it. Thank you for
All right.
calling
Thank
in.
you so much.
Do you have a
Mm-hmm.
do you have a Black History story otherwise?
Mm-hmm. I celebrate Black History. My heart goes out to Dr. Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks. So we need to continue to follow in their footsteps.
Thank you. Well, I'm planning to have some senior programs because
Okay.
there has been a couple of incidents in
Mhm.
my district that concerns
Okay.
me greatly. You know that I say that my district is my family, and
That's right.
all the other areas in the county becomes my kinfolks, the cousins and the uncles and the aunts and everything.
Right.
Not that I
Yeah.
don't love you like family, but the brothers and the sisters and the mothers and the fathers live over there, and the grandmas live in
Right.
District 2. That's how I look at it, and I do have that in mind. So
Yes.
I'm planning to set up some programs that we can come together as a people
That's
and
right.
address
That's
some of these issues that faced us, because
right.
I do know, and you know, that we do
Right.
have some problems in
We
the
do.
rearing of our children. Just
We
because
do.
they become a teenager, our
Okay.
children may say that you grown there. No, you are a teenager. You don't know how to make a solid decision, and you
Right.
need some training on helping them. So I
They do.
somehow think that maybe we've not kept our foot in the family house and family
Right.
enough so that things are happening. I know that what you're saying, and I'm not saying it's not happening, but we'll talk about it later. Thank you so much for
Okay.
calling.
Thank you so much, and I'll get with you soon. Thank you, dear.
Sure, I'll after 10 is when I go off the air and give
Yes.
me a chance to get
Okay.
home. Okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Now the number to call is 252-756-2008. And you can talk with me live about African American history as you know it. African American history as I know it is being shared with you right now. And we thank the caller for calling in. And she's concerned because the children are being released from school. She feels unfairly. So let's get on with doing the job that our parents did for us. The grandparents always had say into the family. Now, unfortunately, I've never known my grandparents as they live. I knew my step grandmother because after my um, father's daddy wife died, he married another lady, and she became my living grandmother. Short lady. My mother was only 4 feet, and she was only 4 feet too. But could cook. I could tell you, she could cook. She could make she could make fried cornbread up and pat it out in that little skinny skillet and take her hands and press it and whatever. And when she finished, you could eat that cornbread fried with any kind of meal, any kind of, and it would be good. Had a nice crust on the outside. Oh, and it was good. So anyway, we're talking about African American history. This is African American History Month. And we are shut up in the house because you're scared to come out. Let me tell you how it was when I drove in today. Well, before I drove in, Saturday, I looked and watched the snow. The first snow was small, little tiny, like bees in the yard. And I said, it is snowing. It wasn't coming down with it. I said, so let me go and check on the dog, make sure he has some more cedar chips. I tell you, my son left this dog here for me, and I don't want a dog. And so anyway, we have already talked up, and we're going to go on with social media, and then we will come back on the radio, and we will talk about African American culture as we live here in Pitt County, because I've never lived any other place. And it's about 36 seconds that the radio will pick up the local calendar or the local ads, and we will come and I will continue talking with you on social media. Facebook, I don't do it. All these other social media, I am not that kind of person, even though I may read it every now and then. I'm not a Facebook, and I know Awesome Radio has that in its network. Thank you so much.
Awesome Radio Network is gearing up for our annual Mother's Day and Father's Day gift bag giving for the residents at McGregor Downs Health Center. $10 will sponsor one bag. If you would like to donate towards this community event, contact us 252-756-3137, and together we can show the love of Jesus, encourage and brighten the hearts of the residents during their stay at the McGregor Downs Health Center, Greenville. Donor's name, organization can be attached to the cards if desired. To learn more about this annual community event, contact us at 252-756-3137. That's 252-756-3137. We are a 501c3 organization under Community Care Fellowship, doing business as Awesome Radio Network, where God gets the glory.
Attention entrepreneurs, small business owners, and creators in Greenville. Your new home for success is here. It's the LJPK Business Center. Need a private office? We've got it. Looking for a co-working desk? It's ready. Need to record your next big podcast? Step right into our fully equipped studio. Plus, private parking spaces are available. At LJPK Business Center, it's more than office space. It's where connections are made, ideas take flight, and businesses grow. Whether you're working solo, leading a team, or building your dream, you'll find the tools and community to help you thrive. LJPK Business Center, where vision meets opportunity. Schedule your tour today and discover your new workspace in the heart of downtown Greenville by calling 252-420-1355. That's 252-420-1355. LJPK Business Center. Create, connect, grow.
Awesome Radio.
You're listening to Awesome Radio, Christian media with the spirit of excellence.
Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you feel it. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome. Awesome. Can you hear it? Awesome. Awesome Radio.
News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
Welcome back, listening audience, and I'm looking forward to some call-ins today. We've already had one, and it was about schools, and I'm looking forward. The number to call is 252 756 2008. That's the number to call if you want to participate in this show. We are talking about African American as we grew up right here in Pitt County, the South. We are south of the Mason-Dixon line, and I was born here in Pitt County, and the engineer was born here in the East. No, she grew up in the East. I know she was here in the East somewhere, but they have our resources coming from all parts of the world. Now, I was talking about the fact that African Americans just don't seemingly live peaceful when we're shut up tight in the house. Not all of us. Some of us just don't know how to live together. That's all. This is why we are plagued with things sometimes that are not lawful. We are hurt. We hurt each other. We love each other, but we still hurt each other in a very deafening way because sometimes we don't get over that hurt and we tend to die. Here's what I want to say to you. As seniors, and I am a senior because I'm more than 55. And when you get to be 55, the children start saying, "You old." Well, I'm glad to be old. Many years ago, as a people, our life expectancy didn't last longer than 60. It was because we grew up not eating proper foods. We didn't eat a variety of foods and we didn't know about the foods that we learned in 4-H Club. So back in the day, our parents, the older ones and the younger ones, took courses at the Agriculture Extension Office taught by extension agents who knew about growing crops, keeping crops, preparing crops, and cooking crops. They knew about livestock, hogs, chickens, cows, pigs, turkeys, guineas. Now, I don't see many guineas these days, but they had guineas back in the day. And don't even ask me what a guinea is. It's something that looked like a chicken, but it has a smaller head than a chicken. And they came white and gray and mixed as mixed gray and white. But they were white and then they were grayish in color. And they walked around in the yard. They had wings, but a guinea. That's enough about the guinea. We also had turkeys. So we learned, our parents and grandparents learned how to prepare what was grown on the crops. We lived off of the land. And some had, I saw gardens in the city of Greenville. Not big gardens, but small gardens. In the rural area where I grew up, there were big gardens because if one farmer was good at growing sweet potatoes, another farmer may be good at growing iced potatoes. Or one farmer didn't have enough space to grow certain crops. He grew enough smaller crops for the family, and then he grew a lot of the things that he knew how to grow. And at the end, we transferred across shared crops. Some had fruit. I remember the councils, and I'm calling this name. No, there's a lot of councils in my district, but the councils that I knew had big, pretty strawberries. And my mother would go and get strawberries. Oh my goodness. And then we were able to have strawberry jam, strawberry preserve, strawberries, nothing on it but just eat. Oh, and they were the best. My father was good at growing watermelons and sweet potatoes. And there was always an exchange of the growth. And it not necessarily meant that you change based on money, but you change based on what you had that I didn't have. Today, what concerns me is the seniors have been shut up at home and don't share that wealth of knowledge that they have. And we've not shared how to make pear jam and pear preserve. So we need to get back to that. We have food insecurities. And last night, I joined Richard Joyner and his crew talk about community gardens and gardening and cooperation and cooperative gardens. That man is old school. And he didn't do a lot of talking. He let all those in his network talk about the foods and the plants that they wanted. Uh, outstanding. Outstanding program. Richard Joyner is the pastor of Coneta, and it's a Baptist church out of Coneta, Coneto, Coneto. And some people call it Cornto because it looks like how it's spelled and they pronounced it how it looked. He is between Pitt County and living in the churches and the farm is located in Edgecombe County. And it's just before you get to Tarboro. So I tuned in on that uh, Zoom meeting last night. And I like to thank Pastor Joyner for sharing with us. There were other pastors on and other 501c3s, nonprofits that talked about how we can get rid of food insecurities and help the government feed us who have become, and I'm going to say that because I am an African American female, but I'm not lazy, who become lazy not to want to grow a collard or a cabbage or anything else that we can eat. We want to sit on the porch and gossip, and that gossip can lead to problems. The programs that I like to see happen this year, now that Pitt County government has expanded its facilities, and we have a gym in the southern part of the county called, and that gym is located at Alice King Park. And we now have a gym at the northern area of the county, and that area is called Government Office Complex. I think that's what it's called. And our manager is moving on down the line. Now, if you want to know what's happening in Pitt County, 1 minute to go. What in the world? Uh, she, she tuned into channel 23, and she has an excellent ad talking about Pitt County government and the city of Greenville. I am looking forward to hearing from you this month. Think about what you can talk about and what you can share, because we need to teach our children how to respect, how to be responsible, and how to be loving and kind. Some of that is gone, and we need to bring it back. All those good qualities that we had as an African American person living in the United States of America, we need to bring our better part back. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. I'm happy to be sharing with you culture, and we'll continue next
Coming
week.
soon to this network, mental health and substance use addiction. What is your conviction? Hello, My name is Apostle Gary Lee, and I'm a licensed clinical addiction specialist and the pastor of Spirit and Truth Worship Center. I will be the host, bringing you insight on the challenges of mental illness and substance use addiction and how they affect our communities. We will explore ways to address these issues with explaining treatment methods and spiritual enlightenment. I invite you to join us every Friday at 10 a.m. right here on this network. If you have any questions or would like to contribute or be a guest, please reach out to me via email at apostlegarylee@gmail.com. Again, that's apostlegarylee@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you and engaging with you concerning these issues, and I pray that God bless you and heaven continue to shine upon you.
Awesome Radio.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Keller Pippin's mother from Awesome Radio.
Awesome Radio. Yes, awesome, awesome. Can you feel it? Awesome, 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 awesome radio. Yes, awesome, awesome. Can you hear it? Awesome, 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 awesome radio.
News, information, community awareness, education. The Mary Perkins-Williams Show.
Here and live. I'm asking you to call in 252-367-7120. We are on the Awesome Radio Network, and you can see me on the social media entities of the Awesome Radio Network. If you're looking at me on social media, you see this shine on my face? It's because before I left home today, I picked up my oil. You know, back in the day, they used grease. They used shortening. They used lard because they didn't buy oil back in the day. And this morning, I have my oil, and I put it on my skin so that my face will not dry out and my pores will be covered with something worth having. So what you're seeing is not makeup, it's oil. And I have my winter wig on. This is what I have on for the social media. And today I put on my wool pot hat. It's shaped like a pot, got a little lip on it. See, it turned down, then it turns up. And I'm talking about African American culture. Now, if you saw me today, and around my neck, I have my scarf, and it has a little fur on it so that something is still in the air. And I don't want any of it except the good part of the air. So I have a fur-like scarf around my neck so that my neck can receive. And my little hood here, I have 3 pieces of top on. I wanted to make sure that in my, as a senior, and my body is frail, that's what they think if you're over 55. And I'm grateful to God for allowing me to live over 55. In my senior years, I want to protect me as much as I can. So I have on a hoodie, because they make hoodies nowadays, and I can pull this hoodie up. See that? If you're on social media, I can pull this hoodie on up over my pot hat. And then I have on my winter wig, because it's heavier than the ones that I wear in the summer. And they all have a little covering. So you see how it is? This is my hoodie, and this is my hat. We should all dress according to the weather. Nope, I don't have on long johns. I have on skin tights. Some people call them leotard back in the day. And now I don't know what the young folks call them. They'll make up a name. But I have some of that on. And I do have socks on, my winter socks. And I put my feet into my boots. And these are winter boots. It has a fur at the top. And it has wool, as in the cloth. I had on, when I cleaning the yard, I had on my knee-high ditch boots because a ditch boot is made with a rubber. It's a thick rubber so that if you step in the ditch and a snake is there that can sting you, or some of them have a little spear on it, or bite you in with their fangs, that thick rubber will protect you from getting bit by a poisonous snake. So that's in the day. So when I bought my boots, I thought about the things that my parents taught me when I was coming up. So my boots, even though I don't know what the writing is on it, but it's a thick boot, and it has a top that can let out for my fat part of my leg, and then I can have it snug. And I put my corduroy pants on, which are a little baggy. I tuck them down into my boots, and then I tighten up that little overlap at the top so that the boot would hold the pants in, the air won't get to my feet. Now that's what I was doing when I went out Saturday, because when you left, I was talking about what I did Saturday. The snow was coming down, and after the snow came down, I want to jump up forth, and I looked out, and all the snow was coming like rain. I said, is that snow? Yes, indeed. Did not stop. Did not stop. I watched the news. I baked me some peanuts. That's what we do. I didn't make peanut brittle, but I baked me some peanuts. And I walked around the house in my pajamas and my house coat. And I was listening to the news with one station. And I listened to Hallmark because I'm a Hallmark watcher. And I'm not trying to advertise, but they have shows that repeat themselves. You always know how it's going to turn out, but I really like it. And it's all about loving and caring and embracing and friendship. All of it is not that peaceful, but they don't do ugly things. So it's a good show to watch for living and caring and whatever. Well, after the snow, Monday, I shoveled. I said, well, the snow has stopped. I went out to my garage and I looked. I had my shovel stacked by the back door. I had my rake stacked by the back door. And I had a little hand swing blade that you cut grass with. But it's good for raking. And it's like what it's like. It's like one of those shovels that you see on the trucks that they push the snow off with. Well, there was a high bank of snow at the end of my driveway. I said, well, if it melts and I want to get out, I would never be able to drive my car out over that snowbank, because I know that snowbank, when that road machine came by, because I watched them, it turned that snow over off of the highway as tall as 2 feet. Because when I walked out there, I did not step in it because I didn't want my pants to get wet. So I stepped in it close enough to know that it would cover the top of my ditch boot. Went back and made my decision as to when I'm going to let the sun get a little brighter. So Monday, the sun was warm. It was still cold. It was 20. And I went out and began to shovel my snow. I shoveled it one side behind one wheel of my car from the garage. And then I got out about 1/3 of the driveway and I started back to the car, shoveling from the inside my garage, and I shoveled out to where I stopped with the other side. Stop. I went in, got me a drink of water, a little more peanuts, come on back, and I shoveled some more. Now, this was about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Then I decided, oh, let me get my patio chair. I got my iron-like patio chair, no cushion or anything, and I took it out to my driveway, and I opened it up and set it down took my bottle of water and set it in the snow. Now, I don't like cold water, but I did set it in the snow so I won't knock it over because when I shovel, I would shovel about 2 or 3, and there's a sheet of ice under it. So I took my shovel and I swept the garage, the snow where I was shoveling. I swept it like I was sweeping the floor, and that got the ice up, and I threw it on the side. I went all the way out, and I finished that for the day, and I didn't go back to that job until yesterday. But in the meantime, I received some phone calls. What can you do to help me? How can I do this? I'm worried about so-and-so. She doesn't have heat. Now, my house is all electric. And I said, well, I'm praying that the lights stay on because I have a gas heater and I have gas here at my house. But the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I get out of this, because I think the climate change is going to be what we're going to have to deal with from now on. So I will have my gas heater hooked up that I saved out of my house from the flood. And I'm going to have my chimney worked on, and I'm going to have Greenville Utilities come and hook up this gas that come to my house that only does, and I don't know why my gas is high, but I won't even talk about it. I got gas, but it goes to my water heater. My water is heated by gas from Greenville Utilities. I learned that when you have the snow, you make snow cream. Well, we had a whole lot of snow, so I made me some snow cream. I did that Sunday. I made my snow cream because I haven't had any in years. The snow we've been getting had not been deep enough for me to get it, because you got to make sure you get snow that's not the first snow, and then you have to get the snow that's clean, and that means that the top snow, the birds fly over the air, and the flies and anything else fly over the air or whatever. So you scrape off the top of that. There needs to be enough powder snow for you to put in your bowl. So I made my mixture, batter for the snow. I started with eggs and sugar, and I beat it up. I had a small bowl with nobody at my house. My greedy son is driving truck, so I made snow cream. I beat up the snow cream, and I put in the egg, not the snow. I beat up the milk, evaporated milk, the canned milk that comes in a can. I put 1 can of milk in my bowl, and I put in the eggs, and I beat up the raw eggs in because I want it to taste like ice cream. So I beat up the eggs, 1 cup of sugar, and I stirred it in. And now this is what we did back in the day, and this is what my mother and father used to do to have peace in the house, so we wouldn't argue, because I was brought up with foster care children, and so we ate. We were entertained. She made brittle. Her brittle was never good, but it was sweet. But it wasn't that brittle kind like you get out of the store. But we had brittle, and I beat up my egg and my sugar, and the last thing I put in was a tablespoon, and I thought a tablespoon would give it that nice vanilla flavor. So a tablespoon of vanilla flavor, not the imitation, but the vanilla flavor, because that's you don't use artificial stuff at my mama's house. So I was thinking about my mama, so I was mixing. And I beat that batter until it came like a little foam with the egg, the sugar, and the vanilla, and the vanilla and the milk. And I go out with a separate bowl, and I get my powder snow. It took 2 because it would melt a little bit, and I stirred that in, folded in, didn't beat it, folded in until it came a consistency like ice cream. Then I tasted. I said, that's good. Now, let me tell you what. The phone rings. This is Sunday. I'm minding my own business, walking around in these old raggedy clothes and got my jumpsuit on and doing all of this. And my son is concerning. Well, there's nobody home but the family. We'll send him to the store to get something. Is there a store close by? Send him to the store. Let him get out in the house. Send him to the store. Tell him to put his shoes and stuff on and let his, I won't say my good word that I like to use. Let him go down there and buy some bread. If he bought out of bread, let him go get the bread. Let him see what's at the store. Give him the money and tell him he better not bring nothing back except what you sent for. That's what you do. That gives him something to do. That's that young son who has nothing to do. The number to call is 252-756-2008. I'm talking about how African American kept peace in their household. I started in this second half of the show, how to keep peace, how to keep us from interacting in a negative way as a family. So this is what we got. We got to keep that young crowd because I don't know why we didn't train them up. We need to stay in our children and grandchildren household to know that and help them train the children. Because when you are trained and you are still telling your grown children how to train and assist them with the training of the grandchildren, then maybe, just maybe, our children can learn to respect authority and learn to respect other people's grown folks and learn how to get along in the community. Because I've never known us to have our own children killing the grandparents or doing bad things to the mothers. I never heard of that coming up. And I was a change of life baby for my mother and father was 1906 and 1903. So I was a change of life baby for them. But and since I was the youngest, I didn't hear about how the grown folks, the young men messing with the old folks and all that. I never heard that. And I had to hear what was in the household because we didn't have a whole lot of space at home when I lived. So what we need to do as seniors, and I'm talking to those seniors who have young folks, and I'm going to straighten my glasses because I know these Facebook people can see me. And I just look down. I have my oil on my face because that's what I did this morning. No lipstick. I put a little Vaseline on my oil, on my lips so that my lips wouldn't be chapped. And everything else is okay. So you can see me shining a little bit. There's a glow on my face because I got my oil. But let me tell you this. We've got to learn to help our children out. Our parents had a switch behind the door. When they launched, you had to go out and break that switch. And you know what I'm talking about. The number to call is 756-2008. I'm going to be talking like this for the rest of this month, talking about how we live and what we did and how the grandparents stepped in to help raise the children because they cooked and did everything. So we're going to talk about that. And I want you African Americans, mothers and parents and everybody, and those who were not African Americans that's listening, I want you to call in as to what you know of the lady who kept your house. What did she do? Did she come in the rain and snow? Did she come during the wintertime? How was she dressed when she got there? And how did your children interact with her when she didn't look like you look? So this is not just a show for African Americans. This is a show to start talking about how we can do as to helping our society become better residents in the society. So we will cut out some of this crime on people, on each other. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. This is the first segment of my African American show on Awesome Radio. Here's the number to call. Share it. Send it to your friends. So the next week on Wednesday, we can talk about it. And the 18th, I have a good show planned for you. So the number to call is 252 756 2008. That's the call-in number for Awesome Radio. Good morning, Mr. Ben Johnson. I know that lovely wife of yours is kicking, and you call all the time. So I'm looking for your birthday party. Birthday party. This is the Mary Perkins-Williams Show. I have 49 minutes to go, and I look forward to sharing more about the life in Pitt County for an African-American family, because at some point we want to have some nice shows for African-American seniors to help protect themselves from those children and others who may be a threat on our life and to our well-being. We've lived this long, and we should be able to enjoy it while we live the rest of the time that God has for us. This is a Christian radio network, and this is Awesome Radio, which is the Christian like that. Thank you.
Awesome Radio.
Hello, my name is Dr. Wiley Nifong. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio.
Awesome Radio. Yeah, it's awesome.